Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Debbie and I am a money coach. And today I want to talk to you about having uncomfortable conversations about money. Now, I want to cover a few areas in this video, but first I wanted to start off with a topic that keeps coming up in conversations with my clients and also with my friends. And that's, what do you do when you have someone who you've extended kindness to and allow them to stay with you temporarily, and you see that they are increasing your grocery bill, obviously using your utilities, but they're not contributing to your budget. Now, if someone is unemployed or for any reason doesn't have funds, that's completely different. That's not part of this conversation. The conversations that I've had is someone is employed and yet they just need a little bit of time to get on their feet. But in the meantime, they are costing the person who they're staying with money. So, how do you have a conversation with someone where you want to ask them to contribute to the house while they're staying with you? It's a difficult conversation to have. So with my clients, when they brought up this topic, I coach them through the thought of, do they want to do it? And if they want to have the conversation, how should they approach the conversation? It's a difficult thing when you have someone, especially if it's a dear friend or a family member, and you feel as though you're being taken advantage of financially. I had that happen to myself as well. I had a very, very, very close family member that was completely taking advantage of me financially for many years. And I did an entire video on this topic called Toxic People and Money, and I'll link it at the end. And in my case, I decided to cut ties with this person because it was just a toxic relationship and it just kept draining me. And I felt as though I was completely being taken advantage of. But when it comes to difficult conversations, like, how do you approach it? I've had to have difficult conversations in many ways. I was inspired because my boss, when I first started working at the firm, it was, oh my gosh, almost 16 years ago. He at the time was billing out $400 an hour. And I heard him for 45 minutes with American Express going and debating on a $13 fee. And I thought to myself, $13? You bill $400 an hour. You spent 45 minutes on the phone to debate over $13. That would have been $300 that he could have billed out. And instead, he's to debate over $13. And back then I thought to myself, that seems like a waste of time to me. But now I completely see it. I see it. People that have money, people that are, in that are middle class and up, for example, just throwing it out there, they would have a conversation for 45 minutes about a $13 fee. Why can't we? Why can't we have uncomfortable conversations when it comes to money? It is an uncomfortable conversation, but at the same time, don't you think it's necessary? Because if not, then we're paying for something that we don't feel we should. Here's an example. We have a pool at my house, and I had to call the pool company. Long story short, they had to come out twice because the first time they didn't have one of the parts that they needed. So the first time they charged us for parts and for labor. Of course, they came out, they were there for a little bit less than an hour. Of course, when we got the bill, they had automatically charged our credit card and that was fine. But they had to come back again because they didn't have the part. We told them exactly what we needed. They didn't have it. So when they came back, they charged us more money for the second time that they came out than they did the first time. When I saw the invoice that they left in my mailbox, I said to my husband, I'm like, why would they charge us for labor for the second visit? Right? I understand coming back and replacing it because obviously it was 3 parts and you only had 2. But why are we being charged for labor twice? So when I checked my credit card statement, they had already charged it. No conversation was had or anything at all. So I thought to myself, I don't feel good about this. Like, I'm not going to let this stand. So I had to call and call and call. I called 5 times. This happened in May. Okay, the second charge. We're now in September. And finally now they decide to call me back to let me know, as a courtesy, they should have only charged an hour of labor, and they charged for an hour and a half of labor. And I said to them, why are we being charged for labor at all the second time around? It's not our problem that you guys didn't have the part. It's your problem that you didn't have the part. So why am I being charged for labor twice? It's policy, she says. Like, how am I going to debate that? It's policy. Obviously, is it policy? I doubt it. But 5 calls saved me $50. And next time that I need work done on the pool, am I going to go back to a company that treated me that way? Absolutely not. They just lost our business. And I also told my best friend the same situation. And she's like, well, I'm not going to go to a company that treats someone like that. So now they just lost 2 people's business because they decided to behave this way. It was an uncomfortable conversation to have, and I had to pursue it. But I didn't feel like it was just. I didn't feel like I was being treated properly as a customer. And now, not only was the situation resolved, not to my liking, but I did get that $50 back. But they just lost business. And I decided I am never going to call them again. I'm not going to leave them a bad review because I don't feel comfortable doing that. But they lost my business. When you feel as though that you're being taken advantage of by any way, stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Even if it's an uncomfortable thing. I had to make 5 phone calls. Like, it was uncomfortable every single time I picked up that phone, but I was not going to let them get away with it. It's not fair. And as a customer, we deserve our money is our vote, right? And they had my vote not once, but twice. They're never going to have it a third time, I'll tell you that much. But having uncomfortable conversations are necessary. When I started my business, I opened up a business checking account in the same bank that I have my personal accounts at. And I did it online. I double checked it. I made sure that I was getting a business checking account that had no fees, right? All of a sudden, I look at my statement and I'm being charged $10 a month. I called them and called them again, called them twice. I had to go inside the branch to fix the problem. But $10 a month is $120 at the end of the year. I wasn't going to let that happen. And I asked them for a credit on that $10 back. I was paying my bills a few months ago, and we were getting hit with a really bad storm. And one of the last bills I had to pay was my mortgage statement. When I paid the mortgage statement, as I'm hitting submit, our Wi-Fi goes down. And in my mind, I was like, no, that transaction went through. I know it did. So when the power came back up, I just moved on, as a working parent with your things to do list on your mind of a million things. I was like, nope, bills got paid, balanced my checkbook, everything was good. So I balanced my checkbook with every pay period. So 2 weeks later, I'm balancing my checkbook again, checking off, that all the bills got applied to my checking account. And I see that the mortgage payment didn't. And that's when it hit me. I was like, did that payment not go through? I logged onto my account, and there you go. I was being assessed $69.07 as a late fee. I was like, I had to sit in it for a minute. It was my fault, absolutely. But I'm a customer, and I've been a customer of theirs now for 8 years. Even when we refinanced, we stayed with the same bank. So I called them, and I explained to them the situation. I said it was completely my fault. Complete oversight. I thought I hit submit and I didn't. Could I please have that fee refunded? And they said, absolutely. No problem at all. We value you as a customer. And they refunded it. My husband was walking by and he looked at me. He goes, I don't think I would have done that. I'm like, it didn't feel right to sit on it when it was an accident. And it wasn't anything that we didn't have the funds in it. It wasn't anything I was trying to do to take advantage of my relationship with them. I admitted that I made the mistake, and they were kind enough to refund me. One time I was paying my bills, and the last payment I had was a credit card payment that I had to make. And, I told you guys, we are completely credit card debt free, but we do use our credit cards for budgeted categories because we want the points and we want the cash back. We use it very smartly. However, I got a call from work on a holiday weekend, and I was so annoyed. I was so annoyed. I'm like, it's a holiday weekend. Why are you calling me? But I got distracted. And so I ended up having to do this assignment, and I got it done and everything was fine. But I thought again, I finished doing the bills. I forgot to make that credit card payment. When I got my bill the next month, I saw it. I was like, oh, $35 fee. It's a late fee. I was like, I pay my bills on time, I swear. Like I'm giving up the two examples of when something happened. And so I was like, no, I'm gonna call them. So I called them and I was like, oh my gosh, like I was so silly. I thought I hit submit and I didn't, and I got a call from work, and the lady was like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. Like a call from work on a holiday weekend. She's like, oh sweetie, don't worry about it. And she refunded me the $35. Again, an uncomfortable conversation, but I was completely honest with them and they valued me as a customer. And so they refunded me the fee. Another difficult conversation that I seem to have every once in a while is with my kids when it comes to them asking for something. And I really believe that there is strength in the power of saying no, whether you can't afford it or whether you think that whatever they're asking for is too overpriced or just not worth the money. It's important to be able to know, like firsthand, know what you want to say, right? Own what you want to say, the logic behind it. I explain it to my kids. My little one, not so much because she doesn't really ask for much right now. But my two teenagers, when they ask for something, I dissect it and I'm like, is it really worth it? Perfect example. My oldest just turned 17 yesterday. I'm like, I'm like, tears. And she got an Fitbit. I was going to say an Apple Watch, but it's a Fitbit. She got a Fitbit and she says to me, Mom, I want to get Spotify. And so I'm like, why? You can get a free app and have it on. Yeah, I know I can, but I want Spotify. I was like, how much is it? She's like, well, the first 3 months are free. I'm like, okay, and the rest? And she's like, it's $10 a month. I said, so the first year you're telling me that you're gonna have $90 worth of music on your Fitbit just when you're working out. And she's like, yeah, that's all I need it for is when I'm working out. I'm like, honey, come on, $90 for music? That's just this year. I know next year she's not going to say anything. And then that's another $120 for music that she has music on her phone. She has music on her phone. She can sync it up to the Fitbit and she can listen to it while she's working out. But instead she wants Spotify. So I had to tell her no. There's power in the word no, especially when it has to do with your kids. And I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy saying no. I love my kids. They're good kids. They're just amazing. I want to say yes all the time, but what am I teaching them? That money is just something you can just throw away? Like that there's no lessons to be learned? That she could just get anything and everything that she wants? Absolutely not. Not my kids. And so it made me think again about uncomfortable conversations. And that is an uncomfortable conversation to have, especially when you do want to give your kids everything. If nothing came with a lesson, that'd be a completely different life we'd be living. But I want to teach them the value of money. I want to teach them what's frivolous and what's not. And $90 for the first year for music when she has all the music already on her phone and she can sync it, it's a waste. It really is a waste. So I had to tell her no. And I have a whole video on the power of no and how you can save money with it. And I'll link that one at the end too. So I hope I've helped someone with this video because, again, uncomfortable conversations are necessary. We need to stand up for ourselves. We need to stand up for ourselves one way or another. Stand in our truth and know that we deserve better. And if we made a mistake, own it. Own it. And if you're dealing with a company, let them show you that they value you. Just my opinion. Anyway, I hope you liked this video and found it helpful. And if you guys need additional help from me, I'm going to leave my calendar link down below. Feel free to click it and schedule a call. I would love to see how I can help you. And if you did like this video, please click the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and to click on that bell. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.